Hi there, welcome back to One-Handed RC. My name's Doug. Today we're going to be going over my vintage collection of trucks. So we're going to start here with an original Tamiya Bruiser back in from 1984, I believe. This one is all original. What do you call? I'll get in for a little bit closer look at this one because this one's got a lot of work done to it. Yeah, let me get in closer and we'll look it over. So this is an original Bruiser. It came to me pretty messed up, extremely dirty. I mean, it had just been through war. So I actually took this one completely apart. I sent the transmission, I drove it over to a buddy of mine's house and he's got all the equipment because it was covered. You know how a lot of the transmissions, when you see them, they'll just be covered with all silicone because they seal them up. That's a lot of work to get rid of all that. So Joey got it all off there and rebuilt the transmission for me because he's got, apparently you need a press for this one. So he was able to take it all apart, went through it and did it and got it all back to me. And you'll see later, I also have a Mountaineer that he did this for. The frame rails on these are, I did take this all apart and send it off, all the chassis rails off to get re-zinc coated. So, so it can look like it's brand new. What do you call it? But you could tell when you look at some of the stuff in there, you could tell it's been used. What do you call it? But it is in a very, very clean example. Let me get the body here. And a lot of people don't know, well, not a lot of people, but some people don't know. The re-release body and this one are completely different. What do you call it? The re-release body, first of all, comes with two mirrors. The front end's completely different. What do you call it? But the biggest giveaway is underneath. And that's how the rear bed is done. The re-release has this little sleeper unit as a separate piece, where the original Bruiser has it all as one unit. And then the front is also noticeable Bruiser only. Even though it did come on the Tamiya Hilux, the front end is, with the little words right here, you can't really see it, but it is different than the Hilux. So it is, what do you call it? A little bit different, but it is all original. Original stickers, everything. This one took me, I had to track down quite a bit of stuff. This little mirror right here, and some of you might think it's silly, but to find that mirror, I had to buy the parts tree. That was over $200 just to get that mirror, so I can have an original Bruiser the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, let's get on to, or let's look at this one a little bit more. My makeshift little lazy Susan here with the computer underneath it. But yeah, so that's the Bruiser. Well, we all know this one. This is a Blackfoot. And some of you might think this is an original. It is not. I actually played with this one just to see what I could do. And because the body, some of you might think it's an original body, and it's not. This is the re-release body that I found these letters that you can get them 3D printed. So I actually glued these on and grafted them in, I guess you could say, and then painted them. And then same with the custom F-150 right there. That's all grafted in. And this up here, those are all glued on, the Ford letters and grafted in. And then the grill, if you look here, the grill that this comes with, that's all solid in there with just lines across. It's really an ugly grill. Ampro makes this piece. So you cut out the original grill and you can glue this in and then you paint it and everything to make it look real. So this was just something I was trying to see if I could make a re look like an original and just have a little bit of fun with it. So I'm very happy with how it came out, even though it's a re-release. It's a pretty cool truck. Okay, we got the Ford F450. Now this one's kind of a funny little story. I didn't want this kit. When I bought a lot from Mark Santa Maria, he had it was like 10 or 12 vintage cars, and this one was like half built in the box, and I just wasn't interested in it as part of that group. But Mark made me a deal. He's like, you know what, how about this much and you just get it off my hands? So I was like, all right. So I took it. And then I let it sit for like a year in the box. And I was like, one day I said, you know what, let's just pull this thing out. and see what's going on with it because it was only halfway built. Well, I found that the transmission was built a little wrong. There was a gear that was supposed to be in the transfer case that was actually in the transmission because this kit has a 3-speed transmission in it with 4-wheel drive and 4-wheel steering. So I found a couple of the gears in the wrong places, so I fixed that. And once I fixed it, everything just went together. And for a kit that I actually didn't want, it's become one of my favorites. Even though I've never run it, I just made a shelf queen out of it, just, you know, to keep busy. Super happy with it. It's a really good looking truck. And I believe, I can't remember, no, oh, it's got pins in there. Anyway, yeah, the bed tilts back and all that kind of stuff, but this is a good looking truck. 3-speed transmission, 4-wheel steering, not really vintage, but it has been out for a while, but it's just cool and nice to have in the collection. So here we have an original Brat. It's got the 380 motor up in there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, kind of hard to see, but it's a 380 motor with the mechanical speed control in there. It is missing the back window. It is and it isn't. I found an original parts tree for that, so I can put the back window in there. I just need to get around to it. I did find original stickers because my original intent was to strip this and paint it box art color like the original. But, you know, sitting with it, it's a good survivor. It's clean. So I'm just going to leave it alone and have it on the shelf because, you know, not too many of these original Brats are still around. So it's just a cool little truck. And here we got the original Ranger. I do need to go through this one and restore it. I need to find a sticker set for it. Unfortunately, you just can't find them. So I might be stuck with, what do you call it, MCI, which there's nothing wrong with MCI, it's just not original. I do need to go around and redo this one. It's not missing that. I did find one, you know, but an original one, which they're molded in blue. So I had to find a blue one and $80 for a little piece of plastic. You'd think that's crazy. Well, it is crazy. But, you know, when you got something that's, you know, these Rangers are rare. They're hard to find. So when you have one in this good a condition, you go ahead and put a little bit of money to it and make it correct or fix it or what have you. But I will go through this at one point and bring it back to life. Now, this one doesn't need an introduction. The original Clod Buster. And this is the sought after one. It's got the Chevy grille in the front, the badge, and it's got the Chevrolet rear bumper. This is all original, original decals. See if you can see that Chevrolet. That's hard. There it is. Kind of hard to see that Chevrolet with the, but it's in there and all original. And one of the motors makes some funky noises, but it's the original motor, so I just left it in there. So it does run kind of, but more than anything, it's just a shelf queen because you just don't see these originals in this kind of shape because it is in just remarkable shape for what it is. And I did strip it all the way down. I took every single screw apart and redid it, and I redid the paint and put on new decals. And so this was a little bit of a project, but I'm super, super stoked about it. Who doesn't love an original Clod Buster? And now we have an original Kyosho Blizzard. It does work. The blade goes up and down and everything. I do have a new body for it and new decals. And just like everything else, I just need to get to it. But this is one that I think is really cool. And it would be kind of fun to get it going before winter sets in. I mean, yes, I'm in Texas, so we'll just get a dusting. But you know how everything here, when we get, you know, a dusting, everything shuts down, so you might as well go have fun in it. Even though I am a Yankee, I grew up north, they don't know how to drive in the snow down here, so we just stay home. Here we got a TXT1. This was brought out to compete with the T-Max, I believe. It didn't do all that well because they were very fragile, but what's really cool about it, it's got cantilever suspension in there, so this thing has, see if I can zoom away, like stupid crazy articulation. I mean, that rear tire is still on the ground. You just don't see that in monster trucks. So yeah, this one's, it was a spontaneous buy. I got it pretty cheap because these things pull a lot of money, a lot more than you'd be really surprised, $800-900 on eBay for one in this kind of shape. So yeah, it's really cool. I don't know why my zoom's not working right, but hey, Yeah, TXT1. You don't see these around at all. Here we go for an original Mud Blaster. I bought it partially built, but it was brand new. It's never been run. I painted the body and then I kind of lost interest, but I have everything for it. It's a 100% truck. So I'd like to finish it because it's really come out. Actually, it's kind of dusty. Oops. Let's just shine it up a little bit. But yeah, there we go. It's, you know, Mud Blaster. I'm actually surprised this one's never been re-released because everything, the red chassis is the Blackfoot and the Monster Beetle. The wheels are, I believe these are Blackfoot. The tires are Monster Beetle. The body is a Brat. All of them are re-released. So technically this can be redone. I'm surprised they haven't done it. Yeah, Mud Blaster. I would like to finish this one because it's a pretty cool truck. And I'll get around to it. And here is an original Mountaineer. This one's actually a runner. I play with it. It's got some flat spots. You can see right there, original tires. I should get some Riri tires for it. Blackfoot ones, just put it on because this one, it's a full runner. It's got the original mechanical speed controller in there, the 3-speed transmission. I have played with it and I bought it. I got a really good deal on it and I bought it for the purpose to have an original runner. The Mountaineer is my favorite between the Bruiser and the Mountaineer. I like it more, and I do have another original that is my shelf queen, and that'll come up here in a little bit. And that one's gorgeous. But this one's just a runner, something to play with, and I do. And here, this is not vintage, but we're going to get into, because it's trucks, this is one of my semis. This is the first semi I ever built. This is the Tamiya Grand Hauler. It is a gorgeous truck, and this truck has been a workhorse. It has been in the McKinney 4th of July parade 3 different times. And so it's done the full route, pulling a trailer and everything. So this thing's got probably, 10, 15 miles on it. And it's a trooper. And if any of you guys are interested in building a truck, a semi truck, this is an excellent beginner truck. The European trucks, I prefer those just because they're more build intensive because there's a lot more pieces. Where, like, let's say the Scania truck that I'm working on now, just the grill alone has more pieces in it than this entire body. So the Grand Hauler, King Hauler, Globe Liner, those are excellent first trucks. If you want an American style, if you're going to go for the European style, I'd start with like the Volvo FH12 or the Mercedes. I think it's a 13 something. I can't remember. Those are a little bit simpler bodies. If you get into the newer body styles, there's a lot more involved. But yeah, this one's got full sound, lights, everything. What do you call it? It's a great truck, and I highly recommend doing one because it's fun. I just do it, please. You'll like it. So here we go. Original Monster Beetle. Really cool. I mean, it's a survivor. I got it from the Mark Santa Maria collection when I bought those 10 or 12, however many I bought. Nice truck. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. The Monster Beetle just doesn't really appeal to me too much. But I have one. And maybe one day I'll clean it up and go through it. But it's not really high on my priority. Or it's not even on a priority list. But yeah, a Monster Beetle. Original. It's sweet. So here's the gray edition Clodbuster. I put on I got these fender flares off eBay just to put on it. And when I painted it, I painted the body and the wheels so they'll match. And this is a runner. I have played with it. It's just, I wanted to have a Clodbuster that I could play with. And I did set up the steering original. Yeah, that's not it. It sucks. It really needs to go to the servo on axle type situation with this thing. But it's a gorgeous truck. I don't think that these are made anymore, this edition. I could be wrong because Horizon came out with them. Now, that being said, they might not be made anymore, but I'm pretty sure these are readily available. It is a really good looking truck, a fun one to play with, just cruise around with it. But it's nice. You got to have a Clodbuster. we got an original Mitsubishi Pajero. I did start this build. It was new in the box. This is one that I always wanted as a kid. And so I found one original new in box, and so I bought it. And I started building it and got to this point, and I lost it. Well, I didn't lose interest. A buddy of mine that wanted one of these really bad also, because he had one. It was his first car. I found one for him, new in box, and then he really wanted me to paint it and everything like that. So when I did his and got all done with it, gave it to him, I wasn't in the mood to finish this one because he was paying me, so his took first crack to finish it. And then so now I just got to get around to finishing this thing, but I have everything. I mean, it was brand new in the box, so you just don't get more original. And it's got the ACOMS system in. I don't know if I can get it or not, but yeah, got the ACOMS radio system. I managed to get that with it. And so, yeah, I mean, I got to finish it because this one it's going to be nice when it's done. Okay, this truck is very special to me, and I'm going to try to do this without getting emotional. It might be kind of tough. This truck is complete scratch built. Started with blank frame rails. That is a 3D printed body. All the interior and everything's all 3D printed. I don't know if I can get in there or not. Kind of tough. But yeah, this project took me about 300 hours and a couple years. But the first, 40 or 50 hours that I spent on it, and the first year and 7 months, I just basically sat and just didn't really do much with it or anything. And then this is where it's going to get emotional. My mom passed away, and I buried myself into this project. And that's where the other 250 hours in like 4 or 5 months came in. So this was my coping mechanism. Sorry, get emotional. But yeah, built this one after my mom passed. This one does have full lights, full sound and everything, but I have an interesting situation because none of my trucks work right now. Actually, the Grand Hauler does because that's got a different radio in it. But back a few months ago, a YouTuber, Bruce Wilson, I had just finished a Scania truck build that I had at a big truck show, and Bruce Wilson saw it, a big YouTuber, and just kind of threw me too much money. And so I sold it to him with the radio. The problem is all the other trucks were in that radio. And what I know now, I could have downloaded all that stuff and saved it everything because I did buy another radio, the same radio. I could have just transferred it all over. So the reason why I put off doing this truck video is because I just didn't have time to get around to reprogram all these things because I've got, 5 trucks to do to reprogram, and there's a lot to these. This one, I don't know if you can see down in there, that's the Bayer SFR1 system that I put in here. Yeah, full lights, full everything. I just have to program it for the radio. So I'll get around to it at some point. I've got a show in January I'm going to in Pennsylvania, and so I got to get them all up and running by then, and I've got to finish a couple projects. So hopefully, but this Mack truck, this one's my baby. This one will never go anywhere. So here's one also doesn't need much of an introduction. Wild Willy, original. And this one is the short wheelbase. When you look at that little circle there in that metal, that shows you it's the short wheelbase. The long wheelbase one, that circle actually looks like a big oval, kind of like Darlington Speedway kind of thing, because it moves the wheelbase back, and that's the long wheelbase one because these short wheelbase ones pop wheelies way too easy, so they were harder to drive. So these only were out for a very short time, like about a year, and then they came out with the longer wheelbase one. So these short wheelbase ones are harder to find, and they're worth a little bit more. I do need to go through and strip the driver and all that stuff and get it all back to original. But this is really, really good shape. Yeah, and it doesn't need much. Nice original short wheelbase Wild Willy. And we've got a re-release Ranger. And some of you might be saying they didn't make a re-release Ranger. You are correct. They did not. This started out as a Sand Scorcher chassis, donor. That's what I used. And then I found a Blackfoot re-release body. And what do you call it? And then you can find the standoff here on eBay. Now there's mounts back here that I had to do and kind of, see it, there we go. Kind of make them like how the original is, so it, you know, will stand there. But yeah, I did it. I did the grafting of the letters, and just like I did on that Blackfoot that you saw earlier. But this is a re-release because, and I've had this a long time, long before I got the original. So I might make this a runner when I get that original done. But this one came out really nice, and I'm super happy with it. So I might not run it. We'll see. I mean, I got plenty of things to play with. So here's a re-release Bruiser that I did some changes on it. This was my first Bruiser that I had long before I had originals and stuff like that. So this one was a shelf queen. But once I got the originals and, you know, had those for shelf queens, I was like, you know what, let's have some fun with this one. So I actually took the leaf spring pack and removed all but one leaf spring. So that way it's super flexible. Well, I mean, as flexible as a Bruiser can be. And changed out the wheels and tires, got really soft, but I left the 3-speed transmission. I put the servo, the custom servo mount. Let's see if I can, there's a servo up there for front steering. But yeah, and I've run this one quite a bit. I've actually jumped it too. This thing's a little bit of a beast, but it's been roughed up. But it's a toy. I play with it now. So, and it's fun. I mean, you got to have an original straight axle Bruiser. In the process of building it right now. And there is a whole build series on it. Just go ahead and look it up. It's the combination truck. But this is under construction. I am painting. These are just the last boxes that were set up to make sure everything worked okay. And I am painting the ones that are going to replace this right now. So this truck still has another month or two to get done. But I'm really happy with how this one's coming out. And yeah, you could see I was seeing how I was going to put stripes on there, just mimicking, just to give it a look, and I like it. So yeah, this truck's going to be finished hopefully soon, but I just wanted to show it in the video. Okay, so now we're showing what is known as the most desirable Tamiya ever made. This one, the Blazing Blazer, is one of the hardest kits to find. And when you do find it, you are going to pay a premium price for it. And we're not talking hundreds, we're talking thousands. These things, they just weren't produced that. They were just thought of as too ugly when they came out and too expensive. And this one is brand new. It has been run. I did build it, and it's got the 427 ACOMS radio in it, and I run it around the living room. I wanted to make sure that it worked because I did have the big 6-volt battery. And unfortunately, I can't make it run now because that big old 6-volt battery takes too long to try to get life back in it, because it took me about a week to try to bring it back to life just for it to run for like 5 minutes. That's all I got out of it. Now, you will notice some collectors out there, this has got the metal roof on it because it didn't come with it was missing the roof, which is kind of common. But the guy I got this from, this is not the eBay roof rack or the wing that normally that you see. I forget the name of this one, but this one's actually special because the ones you see off eBay just have the bars going across, where this one was made to mimic the original one. So these wings are actually highly sought after, and they pull the same money as an original wing set, because just the wing set alone, you're talking about $500 if you can find one. And I'll be honest, I would like to find one and take this to complete original. Like when I painted this, I put on all the original stickers, except this one, I bought a MCI set and put on the MCI decal up here. That way I save the original decal, so if I ever get the correct wing for this thing, I can put that sticker on it and to where it's 100% correct. So yeah, I mean, this thing is still gorgeous. It's still worth several thousands of dollars, even though it doesn't have the correct roof. It's worth a lot of money. And I mean, see if I can get underneath it. it's clean. I mean, it's never been, other than probably the 20 feet it drove in my living room, that's all this thing's been driven. It is brand new, and like I said, this is at the top of 99.9% of the collectors out there. This is the one to get. So, and I got one. Out of the the four of the 3-speed trucks, the Bruiser, the Mountaineer, the Hilux, and the Blazing Blazer, the Hilux is the only one that I'm missing. And I would like to get one, but when you're talking one that's in this kind of shape of the Blazer, you're talking $2,500, $3,000 for one. And if you find one new in the box, you're talking $4,000 or $5,000 easily for a new kit in the box. So that one's, I'll find one and add it to the collection at one point, just because I want to be able to have all 4 of the 3-speed trucks. So one day I will get it, but I got, 3 of them, so that's a good start. And this is the Tamiya's Mercedes 1850L. It didn't come with the Coke livery. That is something that I got separate. Actually, my niece printed out all the white decals, all the Coca-Cola ones on her Cricket for me, and I put them on and made it a Coke truck. But 1850L, this kit has been discontinued about a decade ago or so. You can find them every now and then. I did buy this one new in a box. I'm still looking for another one because I just love this kit and I would like to have another one. Yeah, the 1850L. This one, like I said, when you heard my whole situation with the trucks, I have to program this one too. And this one is really kind of cool because I did a lit up dash in here. The whole interior lights up. I don't know if you can really, there's Coca-Cola in there. I put dog in there. Dashboard lights up. The dude's in there. Yeah. So this is a cool truck, and I'll get it going for the Cabin Fever event up in Pennsylvania. It's just, I got to get to it. So here's the Chevy S10. It falls in that Preerunner category, the Toyota Preerunner, this S10, and then there's the Ford F-150. I do have all 3 of them. This one was new in the box build, so it's brand new. It had never been ran. I just built it and put it on the shelf. But this one's, not that everyone wants the Preerunner, which I'm going to pull out next. You'll see that one. But this one, I actually like this. This was my favorite one out of the 3. You won't see the F-150, even though I do have it, because it is brand new in a box still. And I'll do a new in box collection video at some point, and so you'll see that. But for the built ones, you're just going to see this S10 and the Preerunner. So let me just grab that Preerunner, and you can see these trucks. So here's the Preerunner. This one does need a bit of work. It just needs to go through. I do have new tires for it, even though I don't really need it. These ones just need a good cleaning. And wheels, body, it needs a new body and stickers. I do have a body, but I haven't been able to find a decal set yet. I would like to make this one all original just because the Preerunner, it's cool. This one is used, so it has been run. It's pretty rough, but definitely worth restoring. So I'll get around to it. Okay, the last semi that I have that you're gonna see, this is the Volvo FH16. It's another Tamiya kit. I finished this one at the beginning of the year. It was my first Euro truck that I did. And I really like the Euro trucks. I won't say that they're better than the American trucks. There's so much more to do on the builds. The parts count for the bodies is like tenfold how many pieces they have. And so it just takes longer. I mean, I'm not knocking the American trucks. You can build them in an afternoon. Where these ones, the Euro trucks, they take a while longer. You can do months. I'm exaggerating on the Grand Hauler build it in an afternoon. You can build it in, a couple days. Where these take longer. And I don't know why Tamiya puts more effort into the European trucks kits than the American trucks, because there's just so much more to them. And if you really want it, like this FH16, there's a lot to it. I mean, this one took me about 2.5 months to build. A little bit more than you think, but it's a cool truck. And it drives around really good, and it's got a cool trailer. Here's an original Mountaineer. Now this one is my favorite of the between the Bruiser and the Mountaineer. I just like this one so much more. All original, and just like the Bruiser, I pulled the body apart. Or not the body apart. Well, I did take the body apart. But I did have I had all the, let's see if you can see the zinc, how new it looks, because I did re-zinc all the chrome, had the transmission rebuilt by Joey. He did this one too. But this is all original. everything. It does work. I've never driven it. I just tested it to make sure. Yeah, an original Mountaineer, all original tires, everything, all original. Okay, the Hummer, this one was just a spontaneous, actually a trade. It wasn't really high on my list, and a buddy of mine had it, and he wanted something I wanted and I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and trade. And so I got this. It's cool. It's never been run at the TA01 chassis. It would be kind of cool to finish it and paint it and do it properly, just so it's not body color or plastic color. But yeah, this is a sought after truck. Never been run. So here we got a Wild Willy 2. Nothing fancy about this one. It is just bone stock. I did nothing special with this. The interesting thing about this kit is, Wild Willy 2, it came out in 1999 and has been under continuous production since then. So this kit is 26 years old, unchanged. It's kind of cool. It gets a lot of attention. I mean, I don't drive this one, but I've got a buddy of mine that runs his, and it gets a lot of attention when it goes out and about. So yeah, pretty cool. Wild Willy 2. Pick one of these things up. They're a lot of fun. Okay, last one. Original Stadium Blitzer. Good survivor. It's just really dusty, but it's clean. And I'm just going to keep it in this kind of shape. It's a good survivor, but it's got the mechanical speed control still in there. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be a cool one just to have on the shelf. People go, I used to have that when I was a kid. Kind of those situations. Well, that's my truck collection. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I rambled a lot. Sorry about getting emotional and that. But anyways, yeah, I really hope you did enjoy this. Please, a thumbs up if you could, if you made it this far. Be nice. Thank you very, very much, and enjoy your weekend. Take care.